Hello there. If you're watching this video, then I'm guessing that you're struggling with some overthinking and you might have a bit of anxiety. And quite frankly, we've all been there. When our minds are in overdrive, our thoughts jump from one subject to the next, and we start to fortune tell and catastrophize about events that haven't even happened yet. This overthinking can occur at any time of the day, but it can be particularly disturbing at night time when we're trying to go to sleep or when we have a big decision to make. We can often worry about our ability to control a situation, and we worry about how we will cope with the outcomes that we are predicting. This in turn can cause additional anxiety and even full-on panic attacks as our bodies go into the fight and flight response. Now, hours and hours can pass, and we are no nearer to finding the answers that we're looking for. Instead, we have often managed to come up with the worst case scenarios that fill us with even more dread and anxiety than we started with. On top of this, we may get frustrated with ourselves for wasting valuable time or for ruminating over and over the same things. We question ourselves about what we should have or what we could have done differently. This constant loop of anxiety and overthinking can have a negative impact on our families and work life too. So I'd like to share with you 6 ways that you can calm your mind and stop overthinking. However, why should you listen to me? Well, my name's Jennifer Roblin. I am an anxiety management coach, and I have helped hundreds and hundreds of people overcome their anxiety. I strongly believe that nobody needs to let anxiety hold them back. So my first tip, it would be to identify what you are telling yourself. Now, we all tell ourselves stories about who we think we are, and it's important to recognise if these stories are empowering us or perhaps they're holding us back. We may have been told that when we were younger that we were a worrier, and we give ourselves these labels. We take on these beliefs and they become part of our identity. Once we have identified with a limiting belief, we can replace them with more positive thoughts every time we find that we're reverting back to our old ways. And then we can start making the changes to improve our lives and focus on solutions instead. My second tip, know that the past is already in the past. It sounds so obvious, but when we overthink, we often dwell on the past and we focus on the should-haves and the if-onlys and the what-ifs. Except that the past is already past and it cannot be changed. However, we can change how we relate to our past, and we can forgive others that have upset us or learn from the mistakes that we may have previously made to avoid them being repeated. Tip 3, perfectionism is often seen as a positive trait. However, if somebody needs to appear to be perfect, the reality is that the perfectionism is not attainable. Therefore, it's impossible. You're setting yourself up for failure. Perfectionism can lead us to believe that if we don't make the right choices, then we've failed. Likewise, it can encourage us to think we need to know or anticipate something before it's even occurred. But trying to predict and plan for every possible future outcome is exhausting and paralysing. It stops us moving forward. Ultimately, perfectionism can lead to self-defeating thoughts and behaviours, making it even harder to achieve goals while increasing stress and anxiety. It is much easier to take action towards a single small next step rather than trying to foresee months or years into the future. Therefore, to overcome perfectionism, we can ask ourselves a few questions. Questions like, what is the one thing I could do today that would bring me closer to achieving my goals? Or what big decision can I make today that will have the biggest impact on my top priorities? Or based on what I currently know at this moment in time, what's the best next step? We can always ask ourselves better questions. Just to be clear on this one, perfectionism is not the same as healthy achievement and personal growth. and therefore it's not the same as a positive strategy of striving to be the best that you can be. They're very different. Number 4, revalue the thought or decision. So what I mean by that is, while some decisions need us to weigh up the pros and cons and think them over, many decisions and distractions are just, not that important. How does your current decision impact on your long-term goals, your priorities, or the important people in your life? Ask yourself, how important will this decision be to me in 10 weeks or 10 months or 10 years from now? Most likely, the decision will be inconsequential in the scheme of things, and you will look back on the worry that you're feeling right now and realise the decision or outcome was just not that important. This strategy helps us to put things into perspective and to see the bigger picture. And it's often better to make a wrong decision than make no decision at all. Next tip, limit brain drain. Now, what I mean by this is we all make hundreds of decisions every day, such as what we're going to have for breakfast, what we're going to wear for the day, which phone calls we're going to make, which emails we're going to check. Each decision depletes both our mental and our emotional resources, and we are more likely to overthink things when we are feeling tired and drained. So perhaps you could try creating routines for mundane or minor tasks. Morning routines are a great way to start the day because we can get energised and focused before we actually have to go into work mode. Things as simple as meal planning, healthy dinners once a week, can save time and brain power each day. We could even turn something that seems like a bit of a chore into a relaxing activity when we have the time and the energy to enjoy it. Perhaps you could think about delegating some of the menial tasks or limit the number of meetings you attend. Or maybe they can be crossed off your to-do list altogether. Maybe they're just not that important in the scheme of things. Last tip, set yourself some boundaries. You may have heard of Parkinson's law. It states that it's commonplace observation that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. So I think we're all familiar with this. If you are given a month to work on a project, you will take a month to complete it. If you're given a week to work on the same project, then you're likely to achieve it in 1 week as well. The same task can be achievable in a much shorter time frame when that's all we allow it. So overthinking follows the similar principle. It will occupy the amount of time you allow it to. So if you have a big decision to make, then setting aside some worry time to be able to problem solve may still be helpful. However, it is important to set yourself a deadline and a time frame and stick to it, and set an alarm on your phone so when it's time to stop worrying, you know that you need to make a decision. So if you found this helpful, please subscribe to my channel because I release something most weeks, and please like and share with your friends. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.